getting some chop. Just that line of the pilot. They're going in there and they're like, get some chop. What do you see out there?
Getting some chop.
Getting some chop. Getting some chop. Like, I love
Boy
it.
gets zapped
The
by
little choppy.
lightning.
Getting some chop.
Getting some chop.
He's getting some chop, all right. Nate?
Welcome back to the Star Wars Guys podcast. As always, we're your host, Mike.
Hello there.
Myself, Nate. Hello there. And you know him well, Uncle.
Hello there.
By now, people have to know him well.
They have
because
to.
if not, we've just told all them they know him.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the beginning,
Week after
it's
week,
you
say,
know him
and
well.
you know him, and then someone who's watching goes,
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
do
right.
know him.
I do remember.
he's the
that
guy
I
that
know
they
him
told me
well.
last week I know. That's
That's
where I
right.
know him from.
That's
I know
right.
him well.
Very well.
Yeah, true. We're excited to talk Skeleton Crew episode 7. Back at it, another week of Skeleton Crew. Great show. And
Second to last episode.
I know, second to last episode. I don't like that.
Bittersweet.
But
I don't like that, but I do like this.
I like the episode. I'm loving the show. So we're going to get into it. We usually start with overall thoughts, and then we kind of do more of the detailed breakdown. But overall thoughts?
Uncle, you want to take
Uncle?
it or me?
Take it.
Sad and happy.
Yeah.
I
That was
thought, we a lot of predictions came true. I think.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
thought they were going to get back to At Attin, and they made it. And but boy, Jod is getting worse and worse.
I know.
And I think we finally have a dark character arc. Like
Yeah.
we truly, we see the progression from in his show, just from what we don't know that he's dark, but he is. But we see it
yeah.
kind of
You
happening
see the
from
reveal.
not from
Yeah.
Silva, from Jod that they meet
Yeah.
in the cell, and we've
Yeah.
watched it. And I think it was more of a reveal than a transition.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
showing
Like
us
he was
who
buying.
he's always
He was buying his time.
Yeah.
Trying to.
They're
We've kinda
revealing how he
watched
was
it.
faking it with the kids before.
And we're kinda
he was playing
watching it.
along. Yeah.
And I don't think he's gonna redeem. Maybe
Yeah.
gonna be cool. And
Yeah.
but
He's a
it's awesome.
pirate.
And I'm happy with the twists. The little close enough. That's
Yes. That's
fine
great.
with me. I love it. I kind of
That's
got
great.
little chills when the kids are running in, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
We
I thought it was
did-
great.
You mentioned some of the predictions that we got.
Yeah.
One of them being we said the kids would show up after the pirates.
Yes.
So that it didn't look like
That's right.
they led them there.
They led them there. Mm-hmm.
And we said they would, which I guess half right, half wrong on the pirates getting to At Attin this episode. They got to the
The
atmosphere
barrier.
essentially, the
Right.
barrier.
And Jod gets on their
But
ship.
Jod got in there,
to-
but
yeah.
the pirates themselves couldn't make it in yet. So
Yeah.
we'll-
It's
The hull it totally makes sense now. With the hull had to hide what the nature of the ship also was part of the
totally.
ploy. Because
yeah,
if you see what that is, then you wait like that people wouldn't know.
you see the luxury of
You're
what it looks
wait a
like
second,
too.
That's in. So
Yeah.
that's the trick to get in and out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then when they're talking about that moment, it's not a pirate. It's an At Attin ship.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they're piecing it together of how this
Also
I-
makes sense when they land. Then why would they welcome them? Because that's their
exactly.
that's the mint ship.
And not only that, they also know only certain people in the whole
You got-
galaxy would know this and
That's
be able
right.
to get through. Like they would know the ship, they would know it's a key, they would know how
For
to
sure.
only. So they have to be like. It reminds me of because I'm rewatching Andor.
We are
And-
too.
And talks about how like the Empire they're so arrogant that they would never expect you to walk in
Mhm.
and just take.
If you're coming
from
in
them.
like that, you got.
So for them, there's no expectation at all that anybody could just get in there.
that's right.
It's like if you're coming in and you got our ship, it's
You belong
you,
here.
You have to be who you
For
say
sure.
you are, 100%.
Sure. Even if you knock over the credits and laugh with an evil laugh.
Yeah.
The droids turn there.
Come to me, darling.
This is completely normal, right?
Yeah.
Doing that. I'm like, these droids,
Right.
they just know protocol. They don't read emotion
Did we
quite
get
the same way.
I know we're doing overall thoughts. Did they
Yeah.
give us? Do we know who the safety droids are? Who's voicing that?
That's a good
That
question.
is a good
It
question.
has a familiar sound. I don't know. Can't remember where I placed it. And I couldn't find
Mhm.
credits.
Yeah.
I did find
Credits, nice.
Sam Witwer credit did something.
I feel like
Oh,
he's
wow.
always doing something.
Voice. He's a voice,
Oh,
but didn't say who.
he must be. It must be Darth Maul.
Must be
Must
Maul.
Must be Maul.
I can't
gotta
believe
be
he's
Maul.
got it.
He's in the
Can't believe
background.
he's
Kidding.
in it.
That was the guy who said, "What is he
He's
proposing?"
proposing. They cut to him, and he's just double-bladed lightsaber. Like, that's not just Maul. That's Maul from before
It's
the
the old Maul.
accident.
What is he doing?
What happened here?
And he just
World between worlds.
scampers
Darth
off.
in the chat said, I turned on the episode, watched it, and said, wow, what a great show.
It
It is.
my overall thoughts. I absolutely loved this episode. I think that it was so second to last episode. We did predict getting back to At Attin this episode. I think we even said we thought it was going to happen second to last,
Yep.
and then there would
Yeah.
be the conflict or
Culmination
resolution, all of
happened
it
there.
in the last. I did not predict that Jod would go darker than he
man.
was.
Yeah.
Because now we did predict like mid-season, even to the exact episode. We were like, I think next episode Jod starts distancing himself from the kids and has kind of in this classic story, storytelling, just kind of rhythm of there's the in almost a Han Solo-esque way. There's the reluctancy, okay, help you, you're beneficial to me. Then we have the falling
Yeah.
out. Then we come back at the end and we help. And there could still be some sort of moment at the end of this, except where this show has gone, and I think it's fantastic writing, is it surprised me that we had the separation on the spa planet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We had the dark moment of him being like, just say you yield. And like he gets really dark where even at that moment I thought,
like,
whoa, he's doing that just in front of the children. It's not performative. He
Yeah.
is acting
Yeah.
scarier towards them than I would have thought.
Yeah.
and even
then,
with
though-
that, he's still saying, just yield. Like, I don't want to have to do this.
Yeah, and
Even
then,
then it
yeah,
feels
and
like he's
then
But
holding
now
back.
it's like,
but then yeah, so
don't care.
So then that happens, and then you think, okay, next time he sees them, though, there's going to be maybe like, as long as I got where I need to go, like he does something to
It's
kind of help
fine,
the
we
kids. Yeah, he kind of walks that back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he has had moments that he's a complex character, because there's been moments that he didn't have to do something. Like, he's done stuff to serve himself, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a lot of the buddy type stuff early on, I do think was just like performative, buying his time. But there are some small moments that I do think were very real from him. Not like, yeah, I love it with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but like Wim's sitting there crying. He rolls his eyes and like, ugh, I should go talk to him. And he does.
Yeah.
Where Brutus wouldn't talk to him. He couldn't care less about
No,
him. So there's
uh-uh.
still a difference there.
Right.
So there's something in him. He feels like someone who's been through some stuff that has led to him being this hard, cold pirate who even in front of children, knowing that kids are watching, executes Brutus right there.
Right.
You're like, whoa, he's going down
Yeah.
this path where he is like really revealing his true self.
Yeah.
But I do think there's still some of that back there of he's had moments of, or like he had the moments of he made the kids food. He didn't have to tell the kids that there's food there at all.
No.
Like he has those little moments
Yeah.
of he's doing some
Well,
stuff.
the episode with Hannah where he basically just saves them all.
Yeah, saves
Yeah.
them all.
It's been,
Had the credits. He could.
But my final point on that
Yeah.
whole thing though is, but then we get to this episode, and I was not prepared for, and now I am less expecting Star Wars kind of gets criticized sometimes of feeling like every bad guy gets redeemed,
yeah.
yeah.
or like every
Yeah.
people were commenting before Rise of Skywalker, and people would say like, oh, I bet Kylo gets redeemed, and then he does.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I didn't have a problem with it. It's kind of just
Yeah.
the Star Wars wants to be
Yeah.
hopeful, so that wants to show that not now Palpatine doesn't get redeemed.
No.
But-
back in the day, back in my day,
Yeah.
back in my day,
back in my
bad
day.
guy stayed the bad guy, and you killed him at the end. That's
Yeah.
how that works.
And this feels like this could be a little more of now. I don't think like Fern executes him or anything like
Oh,
that
I
at the
think
end of this.
I think it could be Neil.
But I think
the
Neil's
saber falls in his hands. What? I'm sorry.
it takes a real dark turn. If he falls and like the elephants for some reason just like pounce on him
And they just
and they
start-
just like the big just start stomping him with their big old hoofs. It's crazy. But no, the moment when he is just alone with the kids now, he's gotten back
lost.
onto the ship, and
Is it?
then he is right there, and then he pulls out the saber,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes out of their way to. I mean, it's the Walter White. Since you're rewatching Breaking Bad, so Walter White.
I am the one.
Or even the moment where he didn't have to I think it might be Ozymandias, or even the episode after. when Jesse is hiding underneath and Todd's, goons are there, Uncle Jack's there, and he's getting out, and he goes out of it and goes, wait, you still need Pinkman. He's right there. And, like, it doesn't even serve Walt. It's just to be cruel to
Punitive.
him.
Yeah.
And then on his way out, he says, by the way, I watched Jane die. And he just says that whole thing just to turn the knife. It does nothing for Walt.
No.
He just wants to take him down in that moment.
Yeah.
Jod's in that place. The constant jabba.
Yeah, he's
cutting there.
And then he says, I'm glad I saw your parents.
Yeah.
I know that way I know exactly who to carve up. And I'm like, whoa. And then he goes, piece by piece. I'm like, well, now he's like full on villain here. But there's, I know I'm rambling. I'll give it to Nate. But the last part of that is still complex is like there is something very real of a guy who is also complex. And in that moment, he is just, I mean, like as a parent, and I only have 2 young kids who I love more than anything, my wife and my kids. There are moments when every parent's like, will you please? Now, we don't say it necessarily always the way some people do. But will you please stop? You're driving me insane right now. And that's his moment of shut up, the jabber. But then when he goes further is, leave him alone. Oh, it's not just him. It's all of you. You're the worst one. And, like, he just wants to put him down.
Yeah,
and
after him
that,
being the one that he had a heartfelt moment with
that's
earlier.
That's the thing. It's like it's
just
complex,
fake.
and Jude Law is just doing incredible acting work as well as the kids.
Yeah.
Nate, where can the people find us? As I took an hour there.
No, I was just gonna say I think I agree with everything you're saying. It's
good.
You see, what you see is at the beginning when the treasure was just myth. The kids were. He was fine playing along. He revealed there wasn't a true end goal in sight.
Mm-hmm.
There was, but it was unobtainable.
Yeah.
And as the treasure has been dangled more and more closely to him and more real in front of him, that this planet exists, that this treasure is here, he has now become, his eyes have been focused more and more on that, and he doesn't care what's in the way.
Mm-mm.
And that's what you see is like the closer and more real that At Attin has become for him, the more he is willing to do whatever he can to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the why when he's finally there and they show just like the insanity and of him on his knees as gold is just falling into his lap. He's just like it reminded me of like Smeagol, like Gollum.
I was just
like
the same thing. It's him with the ring going into the fire.
Ring, when it's further away from you, the temptation, it's sin. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
further away it is, the more you can suppress it, the less temptation it's going to have on you. But the closer the ring gets to Gollum and the closer it is to the burning of the fire, he is willing to do. You're willing to do anything to obtain it, and that's what Jod's doing. He's getting to the point where it's so close where he's like, I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to threaten you. I'm willing to all whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they're willing to die. They were willing to kill. They basically, the whole space station went insane, and they were like 5 credits.
Yeah.
And they have.
He's poured 1,000.
Got to be trillions.
Trillions.
It has to be trillions of credits.
I mean, he said there what, like
1,000 of
vaults?
these.
Yeah.
And how many are there?
I mean, that's more than.
It could be trillions of.
It's insane. Like,
and
it's
where's
beyond
the money? I want to know more about the planet. Like, this is a republic. Old Republic mint. So where's this currency even going? Or is it just they've been stuck doing this job, and they've just been housing it now?
The droids are going.
The droids are going.
None of it's going out
the
anymore.
The planet's going.
It
but
feels almost a little like Twilight
just
Zone episode of something of like
they're so detached from the world.
In a different time.
That's right.
Like, they didn't
like
even
they've
know
just been
a
doing
war
the thing. They don't know everything outside.
They didn't know the Empire took over. They didn't know a war happened.
How about the comment by Fern's mother? Was it Fern's? No, it was Wim's dad, I think, who said, we weren't going to tell you this until after you graduated high school. Like,
yeah, they know. They know.
Everybody gets
in
in
of revealing to the kids.
Everybody gets in, but
which
you gotta
does
be a certain age.
It makes me now. Again, we're not going to, I think, have the time to do it with just one episode left. But there is so many little pockets of this story. Like, I like right now that they haven't explained every little detail
Yeah.
of what's going on because it allows your imagination to,
That's right.
have fun with it. But I do wonder, like, what do the parents feel? Do the parents know, like, what is the motivation, basically, to, like, why do they think that they're doing their analyst job?
Right.
What's it for? How about the fact that we got a supervisor? Not the reveal of who it is, but we got a voice. But even in that moment, it felt such Wizard of Oz to me. Like, oh, we hear the voice, and
Man
it's like,
behind the curtain. It's not
yeah,
what
and
you
it's
think
kind of,
gonna be.
I don't know why it came off as, and I mean this in a good way, but it came off as like in the supervisor, it's almost like a little dun 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 dun, like it felt like circusy,
It did.
performancey, performing of like,
Mhm.
oh, and then here's the supervisor, and everyone goes, the supervisor. Yes, and we have a ship coming in, and I was like,
People of At Attin.
yes,
welcome
it
the
feels
ship from
big.
the-
Well,
well,
I don't know. It's
what's
so
interesting is, so he's covering, because that doesn't. You can tell this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They don't send out like. It's
No.
it's had to have been, I don't know, centuries since the ship came in to take a shipment out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody even knew what was going on. They were standing on this
No.
thing.
They're all like, "What is
If it
happening?"
happened all the time, they were standing on that.
Yeah, the
They would have all
platform.
been backed
Yeah.
up and.
Yeah.
But they didn't know what was going
And they're
on.
all in awe.
What is
Everyone
this?
was like running to it to see what was
What
happening.
is this? So this whole thing, but the droids don't have that concept of this hasn't happened in a long time. This is weird.
No,
The
it's
droids
this
are
is
like,
protocol.
This is what
yeah,
we
this
do.
protocol. He said
It's
he's the
coming,
emissary.
But it hasn't
he's
happened for
this.
300 years. Why? What are we
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
They don't understand. Cackling laughter.
Something
Cackling
is
laughter.
not
Red
right.
alert.
They've
They've been
Why is
waiting.
he-
They've been
Yeah.
making all these credits, waiting for this ship to come, and now it's here.
Yeah.
And this is the protocol, and so the supervisor has to cover for like,
Yeah.
okay, we want everybody to panic. We don't want everybody, so we've got to cover this
Yeah.
And
because the
so-
ship literally came in from outer space.
So
Yeah.
now
It
the
does do
question
that.
is in this next episode, what is the one? I think we get a reveal. I think we do get a final like actual reveal of who the supervisor is. The fact that they finally
Or that
introduce
it's fake.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the supervisor is either someone, or the fact that the supervisor, what it is a droid or a mechanism to keep people in place or whatever. But I think that it's intentional that in the second to last episode we heard the voice of the supervisor for the first time.
Did you look up who the voice is?
No, I didn't. Was that Whitward too?
No.
It's Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry did the voice. Oh, really?
Wow.
I didn't recognize it, and I was like, wait a second. I was trying to find the voice of the droids, and then I found that.
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
so much I'm just loving. I think the writing on this show has been so
Amazing.
like it's
writing's
been
been great.
amazing. I think that even in this, I feel like they write the comedy so well on this show. Whoever's writing, I mean, there's a number of writers, but whoever is writing every single piece of dialogue that Neil has without fail is comedy gold. Every single one.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, that's a real adventure. I almost thought we were gonna die the whole time,
Yeah.
but I guess that's a real adventure for
That's
you.
what
He's like,
adventure
he's
is.
just-
I guess that's what it
he's
is.
just it's
It's funny you said that because Paul in the chat said the moment that Smee smashes Jod is the funniest thing I've seen in Star Wars in a long
it's great.
time.
it's so,
Just
yeah.
the out of frame punch to the face is
Close enough.
At first I thought you said Shmi. When Shmi punches Jod, and
Shmi.
Skywalker
Shmi.
comes and says,
Oh, that would be awesome.
"Don't look back, don't
Shmi.
look back." Boom, just punches
be
him.
awesome.
Don't look back.
SM33.
Shmi.
Uh,
He was meant to help you.
yeah.
Well, we have been. You
it's-
talk about comedy. We've been watching. Stranger Things,
Yeah,
and
good timing. Probably watching alongside
for sure,
this
The
of
kid's story.
the kid's
Kid's story.
story.
one of the keys for me for humor is that there's an element of unexpectedness to it.
Yeah.
If I can see the joke coming,
Yeah,
it doesn't quite land as well. And there have been a lot of things of Skeleton Crew that I haven't seen coming but are funny.
Yeah.
Sorry. Those little moments
Yes.
is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
We got to make a plan.
he just
I
runs.
mean, I thought something could happen like that, but
Yeah,
the timing
in
of
the
it was
moment.
yeah.
quick and caught me off guard.
I think it goes back to what you're saying. The
Funny.
writing has just been
It's been great.
it's been great.
The comedy has been
One of
so
the-
funny.
Things so Darth in the chat, which makes a good point, says I think Jod, which he says, I think Jod is simply jealous of these kids that they had a childhood that he didn't have,
I
and
saw
that
that
they
too.
that the
Mhm.
children have parents who love them. And I think that is a good point. I didn't think about that the first time because he even looks at Wim and says, poor kid.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah,
in
poor
his
boy.
mind, poor boy. In his mind, he's thinking, poor boy, you've been living here in luxury. You have no idea what the real
Mhm.
world's like. You have
Yeah.
no idea a war existed. You have no idea that what we've been doing. And as he
Jod's
talks
probably
about, the
been through
pirates
some
have
trauma.
just been
Yeah.
going through the worst of things just for scraps.
Mhm.
And
They're living
probably
in
had
paradise.
trauma. Probably, who knows if he was involved in Order 66, or not.
Mhm.
With his ability to use the Force, who knows if he was part of that and lived through that. So he's looking at this kid thinking, poor boy, you're scared. Yeah, like you have no idea.
And when he sees him with the parents, it just makes him more
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
So the treasure's his motivation, but he hates the fact that they're so
Yes.
That
Totally.
they're so,
can't stand it.
yeah.
Totally. You've been
That they
living
just
on a
live in-
treasure
rubbing it in
planet.
his face.
They live
You-
in like a utopian false reality,
Yeah.
essentially, compared to what the rest of the galaxy
Mhm.
is dealing with.
That we're watching the it's on in the background here, but doesn't that I thought it looked familiar. It reminds me of Starlight Beacon.
Totally.
Just the
Yeah,
way
Oh.
that it's made.
Oh,
and
device
it
definitely
and it
does.
floats up, and it's when it went up, and I was like, that was like a little Starlight Beacon floating.
I
up
thought
does.
this
through,
scene was comedic as well.
Oh
the,
yeah.
The parents,
How
their
useless
the
they
are.
parents
Oh, yeah.
little like, oh, you take it, I'll run. Takes one step, Neil's mom's down,
Yeah.
and then passes and someone else. And of course, it's also their parents. Like
That's right.
this isn't going to be some fast high speed chase. Like they're
No.
like, there's like, and it's just so clumsy, and they're getting around, and
My
the droids
kids
are like,
run fast.
the droids are
They're-
like, we can see you. Please put
They're-
it
Just
down.
get it
Put
down.
down the
they're
device.
they're the society of no adventure, desk job, 24/7, have never done anything to rebel against the robots, and here they are trying to to run away. Yeah,
And
they're
it's
gonna
great.
get- they're gonna get shot down
For
immediately.
sure. A show like this, the kids are the heroes. I
I want to
think
play
it's-
slap ball.
I
Like
think
they
it's
were
awesome.
playing there.
Yeah.
Gravity.
It's so
Slap,
fun.
yeah.
They're just hitting it around, and
Yep.
their faces when they're all excited seeing the planet, like the kids showing up. Whoa! So that's what the barrier looks like.
That's
So
it.
that's first of all we've talked about it a lot, but the visuals on this show have been, I think, top
Oh.
notch.
As they're driving through the barrier,
Yeah,
flying through, it looked very Solo
Solo.
Kessel Run.
Well, because it's the
Like,
maelstrom. They kept.
yeah.
They kept. I mean,
It
this is not the
was.
same thing,
Uh-huh.
but they kept saying, "Oh, it's
It
know,
was.
it was supposed to be a similar type of storm to keep people out."
Mhm.
And the I like the design of the electricity.
Oh
that
yeah,
was blowing up like that pirate ship's like, "Oh, we got you!" Just explodes.
and the
um,
fog. They're
yeah,
like,
it
it's
was
poison.
awesome.
It's toxic. Yeah.
Thought it was so good. I think that there's so many good writing moments as far as emotions throughout this. I liked Smee. I liked SM-33 coming to their defense there,
Yeah.
like the whole claimsies thing. I thought that was a funny bit that also had some emotional weight as well, where we know that he's a droid, but we also know that we think that SM-33 has taken liking to the kids.
Yeah.
We want that to
The
be true.
Yeah, so we
droid
want it
is
to be true.
more.
How it is.
Yeah.
The droid is more sympathetic and human than Jod's character.
Mhm.
And it's
Close
that-
enough.
it's like-
It be close
We
enough.
wanted that. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Also,
great.
I love that Fern unclaimsies, only claimed for children. Doesn't work
Doesn't
like
work
that.
that
It's
way.
just it's like no, it doesn't.
Close
it-
enough.
it's like, It'd be close enough. Also,
It kinda
in his
does work that
defense,
way.
Wim claimed it first in that whole thing.
He
He's like,
did.
"Call claimsies."
He
Yeah,
did.
he
And then
did.
he says, "No, I claim it. I claim
And
it."
also, do you notice that
I am
that's
Captain
they
Jod.
intentionally put that in the recap of the episode?
I know
was
that. I
Wim
claims he's
calling
on the new
claims,
ship.
Yeah, on the new ship.
It was there.
So
He
with
did.
it being the new ship, they're trying to remind the viewer. Remember, he did call.
He
He
did.
did call
He
claims
did.
first.
He called
Wim
it
did.
first.
That's right. In the ship.
That's
Yeah.
right. I love it ties back to literally episode 1 when they're talking about
I know.
claimsies, double claimsies, unclaimsies. Claimsies
Yeah.
only
They had a-
inside. Yeah.
They had a musical moment that I thought was very cool.
Oh, when Jod broke out his tap and he said, "We're the skeleton crew."
The skeleton-
The
But-
musical moment. Yeah.
By the way, I read that he that was his ad lib, the song.
That was his. Oh,
It was supposed to be a poem.
Oh,
it's
the-
so
the
much better
shanty?
as is.
Yeah, and
The
he showed
sea
up.
shanty?
He showed up and said, "Would it be okay if it were? What if it was a song?"
Oh, a song.
And Bryce Dallas says, "Yes, Jude Law, please make it a song."
Jude Law, have you done anything
And
before?
so it became a song.
became the sea
It
It's supposed to be
great.
a poem. Yeah, it was
I
great.
loved it. That's
I love
The musical part I was talking about was when they're coming into At Attin and they're coming through the storm and they're heading to the planet in the ship. We hear a theme that's very close to episode 4. That scene where it's right before the Death Star blows up. When it's going dun dun dun
Oh,
dun
yeah,
dun
yeah.
dun
No,
dun
definitely.
dun dun
Yeah,
dun
yeah,
dun
yeah.
dun 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 dun
It's the
dun
trench
dun
run.
dun dun
Yeah.
dun.
Yep.
But in
The-
this
the
it's dun
build-up.
dun 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 dun. It
and
cuts
then
back to
and then it cuts green. And the
They
green
go
light.
again,
The green
Captain.
light goes on. Yeah.
By the way,
Kinda-
the
it was-
the,
I was like, ooh.
the
Yeah.
music,
Felt
the,
very much
the music in this has been fantastic. I think, which
Yeah.
is
Skeleton Crew
Mick
theme.
Giacchino, which is Michael Giacchino's
Yeah.
son,
Mhm.
who did Lost and some of the great stuff that we love. But it's felt very Star Wars while making its own Star Wars stuff that fits the show really
Yeah.
well. Like not a lot of just like I think generic. Not a lot of just here's generic sci-fi sounds that doesn't sound Star Wars. Like it feels Star Wars, but it's not just a repeat of all the old stuff. Like
There were themes.
I feel like
Yeah,
sometimes, I feel like
for
sometimes
sure.
these shows will completely shy away from it because they're like, well, we want to do something new. We don't want
Yeah.
we don't want it to be John Williams at all. We're like, but also John Williams is Star Wars.
Yes.
So like you have to tap into at least there
sure.
should be nods to like that.
Mm-hmm.
There should be nods that make you think, even if it's not the same score, that think of the John Williams score
Yeah.
and go,
Yeah.
oh, I like that. That was a little run
Yeah.
on what felt like it was going
Yeah.
into
Right.
Princess Leia music, but it was actually a little bit different for this
Mhm.
emotional moment in the show, which I really love.
I've had some moments like that.
Brutus biting it. Did we predict Brutus's death? I don't remember if we did or
No.
not. I think I remember saying that he would get captured by a claw machine.
Claw machine.
I thought that
Well,
claw
The
machine.
clown, it moves.
Oh, he just starts howling.
He
Uh,
hands him a bone. Brutus is a good glue.
It's,
He's capable.
we've
first
been
mate.
hungry for so long. We've been eating nothing but scraps.
They
It's because
love-
Brutus is a dog.
They love pundits.
No.
They love me.
I wish that
Yeah,
Jude
they
Law had
love
taken that step
me.
further. We're following
Love
a
me.
wolf. Most
Right.
of you don't eat what this guy like. They look and everyone's like, yeah, and it cuts to that lady and she's got a big dog bowl. Like, yeah, what's going on? Like, Brutus has led us astray. Also, what's with this 3 times a week we go out to a cliff and just howl at the moon? Does anyone else think that's weird? Like Brutus is completely just he's just a wolf and has nothing to do with he can't connect. That's why he's like the crew loves me and Bruce deep down Bruce is kind of like dang it I think I'm
Right.
maybe they don't love our wolf
I even
sessions.
love you.
They don't love our wolf off.
They don't love once a month and we turn feral.
Oh man, the
I
the
think
emotion. Sorry, last thing I was just thinking of this scene. The Jude Law, he does such a great job of having command where he's like the performative big. I mean, obviously he's a major movie star actor for a reason.
Yeah.
But I like that he can do the small, subtle charm stuff, which I feel like for the first handful of episodes, it wasn't big moments. It was little charm here, which, by the way, still takes us back to now thinking of what we know about Jod. Are we not even a little more suspicious of how at Akron, Ohio, did he get out and get the EOPs and everybody was surrounded?
without anybody there. I think he killed them all.
That's what I'm saying. Now we're more suspicious.
I think he did
I'm anxious to go back and rewatch every little moment he's had
because they didn't show any
interesting
of them.
what is this?
He's ruthless.
I love it.
They're showing how ruthless he is.
Well, we realized he still has the credits, right?
Yeah,
When they got to the spa planet, he still had the
he still
credits.
had him.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
what did he do?
I think he did. And then when he ran into the kids again, he thought, I'll use this here. Here's the.
There you go.
So where do we think it's going with when he walks out and ignites a lightsaber in front of the
parents.
parents? Do we think is that what I'm saying is if we're making a strict prediction, if you're Jod or if we're, what do we think he's going to say to the parent? Like, get out of my way. I need this. Go and sell, or just like, come here. I'm going to kill you all. Like, I don't think this ends with mass slaughter, but he certainly has threatened it. I just don't think that's where the show is going to go. That like this ends with Neil's mom getting diced up. But I'm wondering where if it's just. I think he's just intimidating them with the saber.
Yeah.
Do we
I
think this?
Yeah, I think that he will. I think that the pirates are going to kill Jod. I think that's how it's going to end.
Because the pirates are coming now.
Because they're coming, and he's going to try to escape with the credits. And they're gonna do something to.
You think
they're gonna get Jod.
So do you think
Urkel might get him?
But I do think he will die.
Too greedy?
Well,
do you think
is he gonna die? Because they said they can't do another season.
Well, so far they've only had the one season.
I know, but
but I know, and
feels
it
like
does. Although if they already if they wrote this as a limited series initially,
he could have,
and he's a major. Again, the problem I sometimes have is the real world stuff creeps into my brain. In thinking of, it's the same reason why we said there's no way Luke Skywalker shows up in Mando.
It's got to be Mace.
Even though it's by far the most logical thing
logical
story-wise. We're just like, well, we wouldn't know how they would do it, or they wouldn't like. That seems like that would be a lot of work. I don't know how they have Mark Hamill. So this feels a little bit. I sometimes get a little bit of that of like, I don't know. I think Jude Law loves him in his interviews. He seems to really love the character and love the show. I've seen some interviews of him really going on about how it was a great experience. But also maybe when he signed on, like he's a movie star, and they're like, "Hey, this is a 8-episode thing."
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you have this great arc, and at the end, you even are revealed as kind of like the villain to these kids, and you end up dying. I think
Maybe he goes to jail instead. That would feel like a more appropriate answer.
Like the New Republic.
For the kids,
because the kids aren't going to try to kill him. The kids aren't. This isn't going to end with the kids getting their hands dirty as blood.
No, he's going to kill everybody with a lightsaber.
I don't think he's going to kill everyone with a lightsaber.
Is it
I do think the pirate thing's a good angle because the pirates are coming. He told them to come.
Something has to happen with them, or
I'm surprised he wants to share. I'm surprised he wants to share any of this with the pirates.
Wouldn't. Why would he want to?
Do you think we'll get any answer to what happened to the what was his name? The captain that
Rened
before. Tack Rened before. Do you think he gets caught or locked away on that planet with the droids? But they're so high tech, his force won't do anything. And now he realizes Tack Rened had the same fate or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
That like this legend actually got to where I got, and I followed him here. And we've got the same fate. We're locked away, and he died here.
That could be.
I don't know.
All those safety droids are right behind him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they've never dealt with a lightsaber. They use intimidation.
No, and they actually are on his side as of right now.
They think.
If you notice, he walked out and ignited a lightsaber, and they didn't like pounce on him.
No.
I think they might at that point say, "This is highly irregular."
This is highly irregular.
That a Republic emissary would have a lightsaber.
I do think there's something with the supervisor. I think there's something with the supervisor angle that's going to come into play here.
Oh, that might be.
I think what's happening.
I could use a man like you.
The kids have learned enough.
Joins them.
I think the kids have learned enough outside.
Do you want to take control of the entire planet?
He becomes the chief safety officer. Move along.
I think the kids have learned enough information being on the outside, seeing what the barrier is like, that they are now going to open the gates to where the parents even don't know as much as they think they do.
Yeah.
And it's going to start the chain reaction of the kids, the parents, what's really going on here? Why are we still working this mint for, like, what is this cycle of life here?
Mm-hmm.
What's really going on? What's our purpose? These droids really have been keeping us in check and order. There's a reason no one's allowed out.
We're slaves here.
There's no one allowed in, no one's allowed out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we're slaves here. What's really going on?
Mm-hmm.
We've all just fallen in line and taken orders. So I wonder if that will lead to, and the kids will kind of help front run this of like,
could be.
This is not normal. This is not okay. Our planet of what's going on. Might kind of start that conversation for them to go down that path, and that might lead to the reveal of the supervisor. What's really going on? It's a Wizard of Oz. It's we've been stuck here living a life thinking we're doing all this, but for no purpose. I don't know.
That could be. I do think that it's interesting because the parents said to the droids, "You don't listen." I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what the kids are trying to say to you. The authority figure they don't listen.
Yeah.
I do think that the pirates need to be dealt with. They can't just go away.
No,
They can't.
I think it's possible they get pulled in or somehow
Yeah.
drawn
they
into
can't get
the
away
barrier.
knowing that this
The frigate
exists.
gets drawn into the barrier somehow and gets destroyed. And because the information of the planet has to stay secure.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just let the pirates just fly away.
No,
Now everybody knows.
and let's
Yeah.
face it,
It's going to end with
he has
Thrawn
to-
showing
Or they
up.
think it's not real.
It's going to end with
Could be
Thrawn
that.
showing up and just laying claim to all
Perfect.
of the
it has to be.
all
I think the
credits.
Purgle,
I
the
call
Purgle will take
claimsies.
care of it.
Yeah, Thrawn shows up. I call claims.
I called claims before. Been called that
Thrawn
before.
shows up. He's like, unclaimsies. I call
Home
claimsies.
claimsies.
I
Infinity
call-
claimsies.
I call claims.
No quits. No quits, no claimsies.
I do think the pirates have to be dealt with. John has to be dealt with because this is a mint. This
Mhm.
isn't just some buried treasure. They're like, we got the treasure. We're out of here.
No.
They will come.
Every
They will always be here.
everyone
Like,
will come.
they will come. The whole planet. When the word gets out, this planet will be
It's
plundered.
over.
And,
And
most
the
likely,
reason why the
Look,
other
everyone will be
there's a reason
killed.
why the other
Everyone on this
8
planet
are
will be
destroyed.
killed.
That's right.
If you
There's
think
a
of it
reason
too,
why the
yeah.
other 8 planets are destroyed. Is
Yeah, 'cause
because
you'll
the
find out
Empire
about it. They
probably
come-
found out about this stuff and was
Mhm.
like,
Empire,
rid of it.
pirates,
Get rid of it.
anyone
Get rid
who's-
of it.
Hey,
anyone
that's
who
how they
wants that.
funded the Death Star.
Interesting.
there you go.
They found all these planets,
But
plundered
they're
all
like,
the
get rid of it. It's
plundered all the
Republic
treasure,
mining.
and then just used it
Get rid
for.
of it.
Maybe we didn't know about Moff Gideon. No, we could Moff Gideon sold away. Just any basically any imperial
you-
remnant
also
person
the-
is just.
You probably saw this. The coordinates for At Attin, it's close. I believe it's close to Mandalore.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Is it? I didn't know that.
I believe it's. So people were like speculating.
Did
who
not
could-
know that.
It's in the same. It's close
Wow.
to.
That's interesting tying all that
And
together.
Mandalore has a similar surface.
Yeah, it does.
Not made. Not
No,
man-made.
no.
But
There's no mint there.
there's no mint there.
Poor
There's
Bo-Katan
crate dragons.
sitting on her empty throne.
Empty
By
throne
herself.
with not a
Crate dragons
with
just
Mando. Wait, that's
with
not what she
zero
said.
lumbar support. That's why she keeps this like, stupid
Why are
chairs.
thrones made of stone? It's the most uncomfortable thing. Welcome,
I
Mando.
know, we need finally like some practicality. We need one of these people just to be sitting in a giant sofa. A giant,
Exactly.
like, a nice recliner.
Oh
recliner.
man,
You come in.
this is living.
Also, it's now I'm just thinking like it's. I don't know why I thought of a recliner and I thought of Frank Barone. Like it's sitting there and she's just got and she's an
Belts
old, she's an
unbuckled.
old man with like food on her and she's like, "Can you hand me the clicker?" We call that a remote. It's a clicker. Like
the clicker.
If you're of a certain age. Yeah,
Man.
no, I don't see a version of this where the word can get out to the galaxy.
No,
that this
they
is
gotta-
here
they
because
can't.
because the world will be. This
Yeah.
is much more than them losing their gold. This will destroy the planet.
That's right.
Now,
Their way of life is over. All the kids
Yeah.
are.
yeah,
Darth in chat says, I
Yeah.
think this story will end after next week, but these kids will return at some point. Everyone likes these characters after. Will like these characters.
yeah.
after,
The
so
hard
that's okay.
reality is. John
Yeah.
Watts said we
Yeah.
definitely have an idea.
have
It's not
an
a
idea
Stranger
for
very
Things
specific.
scenario.
But what'd you say?
It's not a Stranger Things scenario. We're not going
That's-
to bring them back.
That's what he
and
said.
Try to do
he
this.
said
Yeah.
he said if we did too, he actually specifically referenced Stranger Things and was like, if it is like because he's like I know exactly what we would do for season 2 if we did. Now he even said in the thing, which sounded like kind of him basically saying this would be great, but like this is not a guarantee. I don't want you to hear what I'm not saying.
Yeah,
here.
right.
Like, hear what I am saying. He said this is not a Stranger Things thing where like it would pick up and we would pretend like it's the next day or like these kids have already aged.
Mhm.
I mean, this show was filmed 2 years ago.
Yeah, they
this
can't
was
work.
this was delayed a full year because of the writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
So this already, if you look at interviews of these children, they're already 2 years older than what they looked like
Mhm.
in this, and they haven't even gotten greenlit for next season yet.
Yeah.
We'd be talking a couple more years down the line at the earliest it might be 4 years in between seasons. You can't play.
There's no way.
Wim is now 15 or
Right.
16.
Yeah.
These kids are. There's a big difference in being 12 and being 16, 17. Like, it's not that they couldn't do it. It's just I like that he said if we did, we would treat it as such. They're a different
Yeah,
stage,
that's the
different
difference.
stage of life. This
It's
is
all
not
different
like let's
story.
see what the. This is not let's see what the Goonies go on their next adventure. It's like no, now the Goonies are in high school.
Yep.
And it's like you still. It's more of like a not quite like an It scenario because that's like going from children to like 30-year-olds.
Right.
With the 23 years, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I would love to see. I would love to see more. Because I'm loving
Any
the
predictions
show.
for next episode? The season finale?
Man, it's hard. It's so hard to predict what's gonna go down. I do think the pirate ship, the frigate, has to go away. They can't just escape.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think Jod turns
Back.
good.
I know.
but I
Originally,
don't-
I would have thought so.
I thought maybe.
I thought
think we
at
all
the beginning
predicted
we
he
thought he would, but
but I don't
I
think.
don't think so.
I also don't think he escapes with the treasure. I don't think he gets away with it.
no.
Do you
Because
think
if
he
he gets out,
survives?
then. But he wouldn't let anybody know either. He wouldn't tell anybody where it is because that's. Why would he reveal?
Yeah, he doesn't
His
want
treasure.
Yeah.
So it's possible he escapes with something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they make a deal to let him go with
And
some.
the like you said, the pirates are. They won't just take an amount and leave and never come back.
Yeah.
That's
and
not
they're-
how they
and-
operate. They go, okay, this is a gold mine. We're coming back. Like we're gonna claim this. This is gonna be our
And with that number of
spot. Yeah.
not so bright pirates,
Also,
it's gonna slip out.
I
Yeah.
do wonder
Yeah.
Tell people.
if
Don't
the
believe it. We found.
if the whole point of the barrier is that they know that this plant, like if the whole point of At Attin having its barrier to protect it is because they know our planet has a ton of gold and our planet has a mint, and as soon as that gets out, people are going to come plunder our planet.
Yeah.
I do wonder what is At Attin think it's minting for at this point. Like, what is their incentive to keep? If you think that the thing that makes your planet in danger is the mint itself, why do we continue to print more credits? Unless you know what I mean. Like, I'm wondering if they know we're one of a kind and we're printing an outdated. I mean, it's still it's incredibly valuable.
Right.
But what are we still printing for? As to like when they say this is all part of the great work, or like I wonder like if you asked the people of At Attin, what
are you doing here?
Well, yeah, we're protecting the planet because we have this treasure, we have this money. I would ask them
Where's the money
what's
going?
the money going to?
What does it
why,
do?
and also why are we making more of it? If you think that as long as the mint is around, we're in danger, maybe let's stop the
I
mint.
have a guess on that.
But I
Yeah.
wonder.
I have a guess on
Yeah.
that. Everybody keeps doing it because the droids are forcing them to do
Yeah.
it. If they don't do it, they go to prison, or they lose their status, or they lose their home,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
they become
Could
an
come down to the
outcast.
supervisor too.
So they're
And
and
basically
they're getting
serving,
paid. They're getting paid in return.
and they have children, so they're keeping
have
their
s-
kids
yeah.
safe.
And they're getting
have
paid, so
protection.
they all have the same home. They all have the same,
Yeah.
they're all living in a utopian world,
Why
a
are
false utopian world.
Why do they want to mess with it? We're raising our kids,
We're raising our kids. We've got good homes. We're
comfortable.
living in luxury.
so they take.
Why
the,
Why
they
question
take the
what-
security and
yeah.
give up the freedom?
Yeah.
That's
Like-
what they've done.
Why question what the
what I
supervisor is
think.
doing with the money?
Yeah.
We just know, there's a supervisor who will be worse than the droids.
Yeah.
Like, the supervisor.
Right.
Don't want to have a discussion. We'll talk with the supervisor and see. And it's like, well, nobody knows who the supervisor is.
It could be that. Could be that they don't want to question because anybody who questions just gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
The
It's
droids
also like a
put them in a prison. Put them
Yeah.
in jail.
We've said before too. There's
think
also
so.
a little bit of we've gotten a little bit of a Truman Show kind of vibe to the like
Always
why-
watching.
like it,
right.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's the Ed Harris talking to I almost said Ed Helms. It's a very different actor. Duna. He's sitting there. Duna. Do. Truman. Yeah. Ed. No, I'm gonna mess him up. Ed Harris talking to Ed Harris, the creator in Truman Show. He's the creator character. He's
We're doing
talking
the
with
blonde-
Truman,
Yeah.
and he even when it's revealed, Ed Harris is like, "Why would you? Like,
Want
why
to
would
leave.
you leave? Like, this is
Get
this is
everything.
perfect."
Yeah.
There's could be an element to that too of like the supervisor, whoever's really pulling the
Yeah.
strings or whatever. The incentive to not question everything is just the why would you? Like
Mhm.
your kids you have you go to a great school, You have great education. You live in a very safe suburban neighborhood. Your planet, you have no idea what's out there as far as the negativity of what the rest of the galaxy looks like. This is great. Why would you look behind the curtain?
Don't risk it.
So I do think it's interesting to see
Yeah.
how much of that will actually be explained, or how much of that will be revealed, and how much of it's just kind of like, the breadcrumbs are there. Like they left, there's enough there that we understand the majority of what's going on without it being like this person decided this and this is what set up this. Like, I wonder if it'll be a little less is more, or if it'll just be more explained. I'm interested in how long the finale will be.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
There's no rumor that it's a double, is there?
No, I don't.
No,
think
it's
so.
probably just a similar length.
Might be the
That's
last.
insane right there.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I wonder if the work that they're doing is busy work. Like, do they know that they're doing? It doesn't feel like his dad feels like he's doing something. Is that a ploy to make him to keep Wim alone when he comes home, so that he feels lonely and dejected, or is there something that his dad is doing that's actually
that's important?
That's actually something that needs deadlines
Significant.
and things need to be met,
Yeah.
or was it a tactic to make him a latchkey kid?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It's fine if it was a tool, but it could also be that they are doing things.
Yeah.
Analyzing
the
numbers,
scene of him cackling,
counting
right now.
how much. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
The slow-mo
one of
trickle
my
is so great.
Yeah.
one of my predictions for next episode would probably be, because I do think we'll get something on the supervisor. Like,
Well, because Jod
to meet him.
the supervisor's nobody. Like, I think it'll just be something we get. It's
I think the
nothing on this
supervisor
show,
is nobody.
nothing on this show has
It's
been an
just-
accident.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Nothing on the show has been an accident, down to introducing the whole idea of claimsies in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like everything
Came
they've
back,
done
yeah.
has been important.
Right.
Even the small little what seemingly is throwaway. So I don't think it's a fluke, or I don't think it's just like, well, we mentioned the supervisor, so I guess we might as well have him talk on the comm one time. Like, I think that that's leading to something involving, again, even if the reveal is that like the supervisor is just it's a facade, or it's a complete farce, that they think that there's this great power, this great person who's in control of everything, and it's just like, no, kind of what you see is you're all just meant to.
Or it's
There's
another
this
droid.
big power. Yeah.
Or it's
I think
Tack.
there could be.
You don't even know.
I think
another
it's
droid.
maybe.
Or
Ooh, it's
Tack
Tack
got
Brennan.
there, and not only did he
floated in on a balloon.
Not only
and
did he
became
solve
the
it,
leader of the
not
planet.
only did he
That's
solve
right.
it,
I
but
think
he
he probably-
became
He
the
never left. He
and
was-
he's like,
just runs the place.
I'm taking the
Okay.
luxury of.
We
of
still never
being-
saw.
being here.
We still
have an
never saw
British
Tack's.
accent.
We still never saw Tack's face in the.
We never saw Tack's face. We only saw his.
I think maybe next episode starts with Tack walking into like right when his the ship, the Onyx Cinder, crashed, and it goes and it shows him walking into like someone's house, and he goes, "Oh, have another drink, my dark-eyed beauty." And it's just you find out that the reason that Neil is blue is because it's
it's
really
his-
an Elphaba situation.
Jack Bennett is his dad,
It's his dad, yeah.
and he has to look to the western sky.
It's a little,
Yeah.
wait, I want to see Neil fly away. But it's more of a Dumbo situation, of course. This
That
is the
was
years.
one of the rumors. Season
Yeah.
2, there would be at least one musical episode
Well, we checked.
where Neil
Dumbo
gets
crossover.
powers to fly.
Well,
Yeah.
we checked. I am.
Dumbo crossover.
We checked
It's the
IMDb.
feather. I need my feather.
Uncle knows. We checked IMDb, and Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford is
in the
rumored
trailer.
to have been in the last episode.
The way that threw us off, because I had heard
It
the
was
exact
awesome.
same thing.
That's so crazy.
It's just so
I
funny.
think
but-
Mando might be in it.
Do you think?
It's funny. This is the Mando verse.
For sure. They all
This
could
is
be
the
in it.
Mando verse.
Grogu's
Like this
Grogu
time
is
period.
the
Do you think
Supervisor.
that we get any more Tack rendered information now that he's here? Will he see any remnants of him being here, or do you think we get any more information on
It
Tack?
does seem weird. He crashed. What happened to him? He came there.
Yeah.
They didn't get off the ship.
And
They
what
didn't-
he brought that in, but it crashed instead of getting the autopilot
Mhm.
treatment that they had with the landing.
Mhm. Well,
How would
remember
that
that one
happen?
scene where they turned off the autopilot? Remember that?
They turned it off.
They
Yeah.
were landing on at one of the
Yeah,
other
at-
apps.
Yeah.
They turned it off
Akron.
and landed in a different spot. Or it could have been that he got into a firefight or crashed on the way out. Could have been that too. He's trying to get out and
Totally.
brought him back down.
What was the story? What's the story that people were told is that his concubine killed him? Is that what the and that there was a fight? I mean, like on the ship they saw the daggers, but then when they get that story of the concubine turned on him, his first mate challenged him, I believe it was what it was, and then his concubine stabs him in the back. Or
I feel like we're
gonna
find out that he somehow successfully got this treasure.
Ren had killed the whole crew.
That he maybe.
But how did this get out? Like how did this?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
It could. I mean,
he clearly didn't.
Well,
just
it got out
plunder because the mint is still intact.
It got out because pirates want treasure and fame.
Yeah.
They want to be known for being the captain of
Yeah.
the Black Pearl. They
That's,
want to be known as
but you
the
have heard of me.
Captain Jack. They want
You
to
got to be the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of. They want to be. They want to become legend.
That's
Pirates
true.
want to become legend, and so how did it get out? He wanted it to get out.
Could be. I'm excited. I just love this show. It's.
I mean, there's a sea shanty about him, of course.
Written stories.
Yeah.
Stories.
He probably wrote it and was like, "Get this out there."
Yeah. By the way,
Put this in the
he's sitting there
press.
going, "No,
Put this in the
he's
press.
crumbling it up.
That's why he had
Not
to.
it.
Somebody had to
Not it.
survive because the story got out.
I know. So I feel
True.
like, I just feel like if he, and maybe he's not. Maybe that's it. But it made me feel. It feels like Jod is in such awe of what he was capable of doing. And he had this treasure that he abandoned. He abandoned his own treasure. That wasn't enough. He was going for, At Attin.
I think it makes sense that he never left.
I wonder if there's
He
something.
never left.
Yeah, they never left At Attin.
Yeah, but he didn't die. He's
Something he was either captured there
Mhm.
or.
and
or
the story.
Or he,
and he got this. He told us.
He looked to the
Story
western
got
sky.
out.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
true.
know.
Could be.
So I wonder if we'll get some more of that.
I'm loving it. I think I'm trying to go into this final episode just not being like, and I just hope there's a season 2. If there's season 2, great.
I'm not.
But, like,
same thing.
Assume this is the end of
Yeah.
it. Just and be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Versus, I think some other shows are kind of like always like, oh, and then right now with the state of streaming and stuff, I kind of assume this is the end of it. Even with great word of mouth, I think people have loved the show. I just don't have any idea. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. I have no idea what the viewership is. I do think that positive word of mouth has to help it. Just like Andor, I think, has been helped by positive word of mouth.
Right.
But also I know that at the time when Andor was airing, wasn't super high as far as viewership. So I'm not really sure. And I just don't know the reality of how long things take and how long.
Yeah.
But I try not to think about that during the show and just enjoy the show for what it is. And
one more episode.
I've been so pleasantly. I mean, we went into it, just kind of like, we're hopeful. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But I think it's exceeded all of my expectations.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's been awesome.
Do you think SM-33 is officially gone?
Well, the thing with a droid is
recovery?
No.
the good
he'll
thing
be
with a
back.
droid is that you get your head
He'll be back.
cut off and like they
You just mod
they
the parts.
I mean, how many times does 3PO lose his head? Like it happens all the time.
I think it's back to episode 4 where he'll be all right, and he shows up at the medal ceremony, and he's got his head back on, and they fix his leg. He's no longer.
Yeah.
He's got a new.
That's
They
right.
repair him. I mean, they got all kinds of tech now.
Yeah.
I mean,
He'll be shiny and
3PO
new
was
and
absolutely
and the little rat will pop out, and that's the end of the show.
3PO was absolutely mangled on Cloud City.
Completely.
Just
Mangled.
demolished.
In
And they
multiple
put him in a
parts.
backpack and just kept walking around with him. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Episode
Attack of the
4,
Clones,
R2,
too.
Yeah.
This is such a drag. They're dragging his head
Multiple
along
times.
the ground. Like
I think he'll be back.
I think he'll be back.
Darth in the
Yeah.
chat says apparently last week it was ranked number 1 on Disney Plus.
That's what I was reading the Screener
All right.
article. So I'm hopeful that's
I hope these ratings are true and that it's performing really well.
'cause I've loved it. Even some people online that I know that are usually critical about, not even just critical, but like usually quicker to like hate on Star Wars stuff. The stuff I've been hearing them say mainly has been that they
Majority
really
positive.
really liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
I think
Well,
it's
it's
been
been great.
awesome. I
It's
just
been
love the
great.
feel of it. It's a fun. Feel like it's a fun Star Wars thing
It
that we
is.
needed.
I feel like Whim on they're flying back and he's sad because it's like the adventure's over. That's what it feels like.
coming to an
The
end.
season is winding down.
Yep.
This whole journey has been them discover it's the kids' perspective, but it's the audience's perspective too, through them, of like discovering the galaxy, discovering the pirates, discovering what this world in Star Wars is like, and then going on this adventure and having the joy of it. And now it's coming to a close at the end of the season, and the kids in the show are representing how we're feeling too. Of like, man, that means
it's
this,
a little
that
Frodo.
means this adventure's almost
It's
over.
a little Frodo returning to the Shire type of.
It is.
Once you experience that, you can't. Now again, Frodo actually was stabbed by a
or
blade.
Bilbo coming back.
Bilbo
No
coming
more
back.
adventures.
too.
I think
Like,
I'm quite ready
Yeah.
for
I
I think I'd
another
like to see the
adventure.
mountains
there's
again.
something
Gandalf.
that
I
you
want
come
to
back
see-
to the
Yeah.
Shire,
see
which is
dragons
this
and-
secluded paradise.
Yeah.
That they're like, yeah, this is great. It's a simple life. Yet I've seen dragons. I've seen mountains and
Can never be.
trolls.
It
And
can never be the
elves and-
same.
It's that even for them, like I definitely think because they are kids, and I do think there is like, we are safe. Like
Yeah,
we're
there's-
gonna be back and we're
but then
safe,
it's
and
gonna get boring.
maybe the suburban,
I
maybe
do
the suburbs aren't as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
But also they didn't think it was necessarily bad
I
before.
think
they've
whether
experienced life now and know what's
Yeah.
out there. They're like, maybe.
whether
Dad,
they
maybe we
show
go
it
beyond the barrier. Just
We could
one
use
more
those
time.
credits and go out.
exactly
and,
whether they
uh,
show it in this season or it's in a future season or something. I can't help but believe that the kids will. There's no way they just fall in line and just work a job like everybody.
No
like
way.
The planet. They're,
Fern wasn't going to do
I
that
was gonna say,
before.
Fern
Fern's
wasn't
gonna
doing that
sneak
before,
out
yeah.
and
Now
see
for
if she
So
can.
there's and Wim too is like I
Oh,
have to
I
go
love
back and
that.
take an exam. I just have
Mhm.
to take my exam.
I
It's
love
like,
that writing of Fern saying.
The only
like,
one that
maybe
might
they'll
do
let
that's
us-
Neil.
Yeah.
Right.
When Fern's
He
like,
would
maybe
like
they'll
it.
let us keep the ship. And I was like,
What?
talking
Let us
like-
yeah.
Now
they're gonna
she's
let the
naive.
kids, yeah. And then
Right.
even after she says it, she doesn't believe it.
No.
And then
Yeah.
it kind of hits her of like, oh yeah, this is coming
Back
to
to-
an
They're
end.
going to
Yeah.
take it all.
He said,
They're not going to settle for
we
that.
still
They're
have to
going to
take-
long for more adventure, and
Wim
they'll
said,
get out there.
I still have to take assessment.
Assessment.
It's like I still haven't studied.
I haven't done it.
I'm gonna get back just to fail assessment. That's what I'm coming back for.
People are going to start
could,
questioning.
It could be that nothing is the same because the parents are like, we're
Yeah.
tired of this.
That's what I mean. I think this is going to open
Because
the
they
gate.
maybe
It
have never
changes
seen.
everything
They
for
maybe
them.
have never seen this
Yeah.
either. That vault right there, they maybe have never seen it.
Yeah. It's
I think
that-
it changes
Yeah,
everything.
it's
I think it
buried under the
changes- I
ground,
think it
under this
changes the whole
ancient-
planet. Yeah.
Under this ancient lift, and it goes down. And
Totally.
Yeah. I think it changes everything. Well, any last thoughts before we wrap?
I mean, I thought that the acting of the children have been fantastic throughout. The writing's been just some of the best. It's such a different show than that, but it reminds me of like I think Andor writing is like as high as it gets probably as
Yeah.
far as
yeah,
like, it was nominated for best drama, and like that just doesn't happen
Mhm.
for Star Wars shows.
right.
Where I feel like some of the other shows have been not that Star Wars has to. I mean, George Lucas Star Wars writing was not. The dialogue was not
Faster,
always
more
the
intense.
thing. Yeah, faster, more intense.
Yeah.
It's more of the feel, the
Mhm.
vibes of what they're going
Yeah.
for, the adventure.
Yep.
But it is fun when you get that mixed with some like, oh, this is like award-winning writing here of just like there aren't throwaway lines. Even the little moments of
Yeah.
what's he on about? Like that's a hilarious. Like
Yeah.
that's a great. You knew like I feel like the comedic timing's been really good,
It's been great.
and I think that even in some of the movies I like,
At Attin.
like not everything
Did
comedically
thunder.
in Last Jedi always works for me, and I love
No,
Last Jedi.
right.
But there's some jokes I'm like, oh that
Didn't
either
quite hit.
wasn't for me or
Mhm.
it just didn't hit. Like I understand what they're going for, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But I feel like in this, almost everyone, I like what you're talking about. The timing of it surprises me a lot of
Mhm.
times. The comedic stuff is not
Yeah.
always like,
Yeah.
here's a build up and here's the music build and
punchline.
joke.
Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, okay, we cut and now it's, at last episode and it's just Jod coming up through the ground and he's covered in jewels. I was cracking up.
Right.
It was
you don't think-
hilarious.
yeah.
It's
don't
great.
And
think
then
that-
2 minutes later, Captain, he's doing the same thing. He's covered. I'm like, that is hilarious.
That's
That
so
he's
good on the
covered
same-
and just immediately
Okay.
shot.
Well,
Yeah.
So I feel like stuff like that has been. I
Yeah.
think it's been just
yeah.
a joy.
Yeah.
A joy. It reminds me of Solo.
It's been
and
great.
I like,
It's been
and I
so
think
great.
Solo's
For
just
sure.
a
It's been
fun
great.
like, action adventure.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's been so great.
We got one more.
episode.
One
Oh.
more episode.
Then we'll make a
Season
plan what we're going to talk
finale.
about after. We got some big stuff planned for our
True.
podcast.
Oh,
True. Big
Well,
stuff
then
planned to talk
I don't know
about.
if people. Maybe we should say it on here. The biggest reveal we have is that after this, we've been given a Star Wars movie by Lucasfilm.
That's
we're,
right.
True.
We're in charge of making the Star Wars. They've
A
just
little
been waiting for
premature
someone
on the
to step up.
announcement, but that's not the first time that's
Mhm.
happened.
Well, Hollywood
had-
Reporter got it out there first. Lucasfilm's always a little slow on
They
just kind
are.
of a
True.
communication there. But
Yeah.
we will, and we thought we'd take a shot at doing something involving the Rey character since no one else. There's like 5 stories. They're like, by the way, so-and-so gets a trilogy, and we think it involves Rey. By the way,
Daisy
Shamina
Ridley
Bates-Noy is
making her
writing
own
a
Rey.
thing, directing about Rey. Peaky Blinders writer Stephen Knight, something with Rey. Like, okay, Rey's involved. We just don't know who's doing it.
Okay.
All right.
George
He's
Lucas is
waiting.
back. Something with
Something
Rey.
with
For our
Rey.
podcast.
Also, I don't know why I
Yeah.
always do it like this with Rey.
There you have it. Thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash the notification bell. It's been a joy going on this Skeleton Crew journey.
One more adventure.
One more episode.
It'd be close enough.
Yep.
Be close enough.
Let us know your guys' thoughts on the show. Drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts if you're liking it, if you're enjoying it, and what your predictions are for the season finale. We'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, may the Force be with you.
Tack ran its sword away aboard the Onyx Cinder. I had to check my notes. And never was he seen again. For at Attin he did plunder.
They love thunder.
No, they love
me.
They love me. I'm a big Hollywood movie star. You see, a wolf man.
Everyone loves me.
A wolf man, or as my son Isaiah calls him, a wolf. He calls wolves woofs.
Wolves. I used to do that.
Yeah,
Wolves.
he
I
calls him.
appreciate that.
He calls him wolf. I like the wolf man. Brutus,
Wolf.
the wolf man.
Woof, woof, woof.
Wolf.
Pull 'em off.